Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a treat. We are going to be talking to an Android developer, an intern with RiteTag from 2015. He is Kyle Wong. Welcome, Kyle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, Kristin.
This is part of a series where I'm exploring different people who have worked with RiteTag and where they're at in life right now, and trying to find out a little bit about what they did with the RiteTag team while they were with us. And I haven't ever talked to mobile developers before, so this is pretty neat for me. I'm excited to ask you some questions.
This is my first time to do a live interview as well, so I'm excited.
Well, I'll just go ahead and start diving into the questions. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did while with RiteTag and how it helped with what you're doing now?
Sure. So I joined RiteTag in the summer in 2015, and my position was Android development intern. Before joining RiteTag, I had literally no experience on mobile development. So RiteTag, working in RiteTag is a very fresh and new experience to me. I have picked up extensive Android development skill during the intern. So what I did was to build an app that allows users to schedule tweets and using the hashtags provided by RiteTag, and also be able to search for photos and GIFs that is relative to the tweets that the users input. So my main job was to develop the front end of the app to make it look smooth, looking nice, and a little bit about the back end, such as requesting data from the server, something like that.
Could you explain that a little bit?
So RiteTag has that backend logic on finding the hashtags that you might want to use in your tweet, so your tweet could be seen by more people and you could potentially become more famous in social media. So this is not being done in the app. This is done in a server that's probably in a cloud or something. So if I want to get the data from, if I want to get the hashtags that I want to use, I need to get those data from the server. So this is a little bit, there is a little bit backend stuff to do in the app, and I have participated in it.
That's really cool. I didn't realize that that's what the back end was versus the front end. Thank you for explaining that.
Besides development, I guess since we were a relatively smaller team, for Android developers, there are only two, not including Shashank. Shashank is the mobile development leader. He's much of the iOS and Android. So there are only 3 people working in Android. So you also needed to take care of the user experience and the user interface, such as how to make the app more user-friendly, easier to use, and nicer to use. So instead of simply development and coding, we also need to concern about that. So it was really fun and a lot to learn.
So you've done things before and after RiteTag. So are there things that stand out about the leadership, the culture, the pace, or how we get things done as a team that really stand out to you?
So I think the thing that stand out to me the most is that we were a small team and we worked very closely to each other. we make decisions together instead of we're doing what someone told us to do. So we were literally in charge of that we were developing. So it was really nice and very fun.
And when you were working with Shashank, so there's Shashank and then 3 others, is that, or was it?
Yes,
Okay.
we were working together, but they are on the iOS team.
That's different. See, like RiteTag right now, very distributed. So that's a unique point in RiteTag history when you guys were all there.
Yeah, we were all there, and we were in total 5 people, including iOS team and Android team. So it was a kind of small team.
Have you worked in teams before where like you weren't so close, like where it was more distributed?
Not really, but only school projects. It actually also felt like a school project to work in RiteTag because I worked in school in Champaign in year 5. And we just basically just meet up every day and keep going on the progress we left off yesterday.
So it was like a learning time, it sounds like.
It was more like a learning, like on job training, or you could say. You literally learn this thing and apply it immediately to the app. So there wasn't times that you only spend time to learn something that you wouldn't use.
So it was like not like theory and like a broad understanding. It was like things that are practical and what you're needing to use right now.
It was very practical.
So when you were looking at various internships, what interested you in RiteTag?
I like RiteTag because first of all, it's a social media product. It's cool because people would use it, especially for people who use Twitter heavily. They would like to use some hashtags that can make their tweets stand out. Secondly, I like mobile development, although I've never touched this before joining RiteTag, but I've wanted to do something about app development. And well, mobile development is becoming big because everyone is holding their cell phone and play around with some apps. So I like to develop something that that people could use every day, or people could use frequently. So not just considering the profits or the hourly wage. I think to develop something that people can use every day is very rewarding. So that's the key reason why I liked joining RiteTag.
I like that. Great answer.
Thanks.
So we have a team that they're working on mobile. They're working on iOS and Android. I think it looks a little bit different than what you were working on. Love to hear about the ins and outs of what you did, and so we can kind of like see the evolution of RiteTag. And if you can expand on and go into depth about the different things that you were doing, that'd be super cool.
Okay, so the version, the Android app version that I worked on for RiteTag was an app that can allow users to schedule tweets. I participate on the main app part, such as the user interface, the main activity.
So like everything that we see, is that right?
Yeah, you could say that. When you open the app, that is an app. So there are a few tabs. One of them is photos and GIFs. One of them is to schedule tweets. and adding hashtags. Yeah. There is another function of the app is to show the statistics of hashtags. It's just like the functions in the web. When you choose a hashtags, you want to see the statistics, like how many people have been using this lately, how many people in different countries are using this hashtag, and which countries are using this the most frequently, and we helped designing it and develop it.
The web application was first, right? Did
Yes.
you, as a team, try to bring the web experience to people's mobile devices? Or were there other functions that?
It is kind of different for web development and mobile development. First of all, the codes are different. It's even using different language. We use Java for Android development. I'm not sure what they use, Python, JavaScript. Secondly, we don't work with web developers because we were only in charge for the mobile development. But what we were doing for the Android app is to try to bring in all the functions from the web and embed it into an Android app. We were trying to do this.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see where it goes, because you guys obviously did so much work on developing like the foundation for these mobile applications, and everything as it just builds upon, like the ideas, concepts, the work that someone else has done. I think that in itself is really fascinating. I've just never, like, this is my first time like being in a startup and like understanding the process of team and what it takes to build a team and then have that team build something. That's really cool.
It is. And you literally see the growth of the startup. I think that is one of the rewarding parts too. Like you're participating in the growth. It's very
and
nice.
it goes back to what you were saying, like reason why you liked being part of this was because of something that people could actually use, right?
Yes, yes. I'm glad I've joined RiteTag. It was a fun experience. RiteTag definitely helped on job searching when I'm finding more internships and full-time positions. When you put your experience from RiteTag on your resume, like I did, usually when the employers ask about your experience in RiteTag, like what you did there, they're usually very fascinated because it is a startup, and when the employers hear that you are working in a startup, they already expected that you learned a lot in a startup because there isn't a lot of support. The team is usually small, so you got to learn a lot, and these people are usually more skillful. I guess that's what they would usually think about when they hear what I did in RiteTag, and they were usually their expression are usually very nice.
Why do you think that is, like why do you think that people just assume that people who are involved in a startup are jacks of all trade? I mean, it's kind of true, but like, is that just like reputation, do you think?
I guess, yeah, it could be the reputation. There are a lot of times that you need to learn by yourself and apply yourself. And also, if you work in a startup, I think you have to be passionate on what you do in there. So I guess some employers will assume that, at least those I've met, are usually surprised about what I did. Yeah, I guess it is usually helpful to work in a startup and put that in your resume. At least it's me.
Yeah, I think I'm coming to learn that. I love what you said about that passionate quality. You really have to be passionate about wanting to make something happen.
Yes, because, well, this is already an unpaid internship. You are gaining the experience by yourself, and if you don't put your effort in it, then it is a waste of time.
Yeah.
I liked it because it did help me on my other job searching, my another intern and full-time job. It did help a lot. So
I feel like when you can show an employer that you're passionate about something to the point where you're willing to spend time on it just to learn and be a team player, and not do it just for the money, I think that would speak volumes as far as qualities that they might be looking for when they're trying to grow their team.
yes, I agree with that. Because when you are doing something not for the money, then you must be doing something that you like. And for tech, like app development or web development, like this kind of experience are usually useful to whatever other companies that you will work in, as long as it's about development. No matter what companies you will work in, this experience will be related and it will be valuable. Employers will like it.
What's your advice to those about to start with us on how to leave a lasting mark on RiteTag? Something they can show prospective employers for years to come.
So you mean my advice to those people who want to start their internship in RiteTag? I would say spend more time to understand the product before developing it or when you were developing it, because I don't think I spent a lot of time understanding the product, but just started the developing job right away. I think it would be more helpful. It would definitely be more helpful to understand what the people need, what the company does before you do the product, before you make the product.
And how would you suggest that people go about learning that?
Of course, the best way would be to talk to Saul. He'll have a lot more descriptions and insights about what he does and what the company does, or what directions the company is moving forward to. And also research something more about RiteTag on Google or some other social media site.
And something that you said about user experience, I want to bring that into this. And I think you also touched on this just a couple seconds ago, finding out what people want.
Yes. Because even though the product could be very useful, like the hashtag function, it is indeed useful, but how people use it is a key. Even though it is useful to the clients, companies, or just some personal profile, if it is not user friendly, people are not going to use it. Or if it has a lot of functions included in a single app, people will feel confused and they don't know how to use it, and it end up the product will be less popular than it should be.
Okay, so now some general advice for people who are looking to join a startup.
I would say to learn as much as possible, to enjoy the job, to hang out more with the team, make friends,